Assalamualaikum everyone. So today we are going to talk about one of the mothers of believers. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, mothers of believers are the wives of Rasulullah s.a.w. And today we're going to talk about one of them, which is Sayyidatina A'ishah radiallahu anha.
So Rasulullah had many wives.
Yes.
Right?
But before I start, I just want to ask lah, like, do you know why do
I know ke dua-orang? Okay, me. Okay. Do I know then?
Yalah, why do we need to like learn from the wives of Rasulullah? Why can't we just learn from the Sahabas, from the history?
No, okay, so there were Sahabas, right? The Prophet had a lot of people around him. But I imagine that the wives of the Prophets are the ones who spend the most time with him.
Yeah.
They are with him during his household life. And they
Yeah.
probably learn quite a lot from him as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we are, I mean, not you lah, kita as a Muslimah, as a wife, as a mother kan, we also want to know like how to strive to be the best, and one of the ways to strive to be the best is to see the best example. So the best example for this case is the mothers of the believers. Okay, so
so basically women are ideally supposed to learn the practices, the behavior of the mothers of the believers.
Yes.
The Ummahatul Mu'minin, right? That's in Arabic.
Not from Taylor Swift, not from celebrities.
Okay.
Oh, tak boleh. Tak lah, tapi macam maksudnya like last time, like especially for young girls and last time when I was younger, like I used to like look up to the wrong examples lah.
The wrong
role models. Okay. So macam I think the best role model that can really help you in life is the mothers of believers, is the wives of Rasulullah SAW,
and also his daughters.
The daughters, the Sahabas. Yeah, actually, men also can learn from the narrations of the wives of Rasulullah SAW.
So that we can
learn
tell our
about
wives how to behave?
No. So that you can have access to Rasulullah SAW punya way, how he respond to things, how he respond to his emotional wife, how he manage his household, kan?
Yeah, of course there's a lot of there's a lot. I mean, it's not disputed at all lah. There is a lot that we can learn from the life of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I like to read about the history, about the sirah of the Prophet's life. I think it's a very enjoyable subject because it takes you back in time to the moments, you know, when Islam was quite new in Mecca, and how every aspect of his life included things that we can learn from. Okay. And so this thing that you are doing about, so you've been doing some reading or some studying about this Ummahatul Mu'minin's lives, right? And I think there are a lot of things you can learn from. Okay,
but then today, let's just get straight into it. I want to talk about Sayyidatina A'ishah radiallahu anha. Okay, it's actually a very famous story, but every single time we reflect on these stories, we can get like different wisdom lah, different ilham, different lesson learned from it.
So Sayyidatina A'ishah was the youngest wife of the Prophet, right?
Sayyidatina A'ishah radiallahu anha was the youngest wife of Rasulullah SAW, and one day she was during an expedition, because they always travel from place to place. So one of the expedition, she was left behind by the whole tribe lah, by the whole Muslims.
Entourage. Okay, tak apa. Entourage.
What's that?
Tak apa, it's okay. By the whole group of people lah, basically.
Okay.
So anyway.
Okay. Some bombastic word. Okay, so anyway, so she was left behind. So the one who saw her was Safwan ibn Mu'attal.
Okay.
So he brought her back to Medina in a broad daylight. So they both entered Medina in a broad daylight. Everyone was there, and everyone was like, oh my God, that is the wife of Rasulullah SAW. What is she doing with a non-mahram? Okay, it was a huge deal at that time. If you see a man and a woman that is not married at the malls, ustaz ni alamak, terbuka. Okay, sabar. Terbuka pula aku punya ni kan. Ketawa kuat sangat. Macam mana nak jadi one of the
mothers of the believers.
If we see a man and woman dekat mall, gitu, ustaz ni
I don't do that.
viral.
I don't do that kind of thing. I don't know about you, but
I don't know. I can't be bothered, to be honest.
okay. So anyway,
Yeah.
so people saw Safwan and Sayyidatina A'ishah radhiyallahu anha coming into Medina together,
Yes.
and
my point is, it was a huge thing lah for them at that time, especially. So macam, what were they doing there? And she is supposed to be the role model. Why is she doing this? Is she
I mean, she's the
committing?
wife of the Prophet.
Yeah, is she
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
committing adultery? Something like that lah. So she was accused of, kira the rumor spread around Medina that she committed adultery with Safwan bin Mu'attal.
Actually, at that time also, Medina, there was a group of
Munafik.
people called the munafiqun, the hypocrites
The
lah.
hypocrites, yeah.
So these were the
they
people
took a
who were
chance,
mainly, took the opportunity to go and spread or look at the Prophet's wife, and all that. So
Bukannya bagus pun example dia. Macam tu.
so they were okay. So they took this chance to spread about the Prophet's wife, and then so it spread throughout Medina.
Yeah.
Kira it became viral.
In a way, viral in the kampung sense, not like like today it's easier to be viral. It's just like one click away. But at that time, Sayyidatina A'ishah was said to be sick lah for that whole month. So actually, she wasn't aware of the fitnah that is going around.
Or the slander that was going
The
around.
slander that is going around. So how she knew about it was when she went to the market with Mistah. So Mistah is the mother of Mistah. So the Mistah's basket fell down.
Okay.
And then she cursed Mistah, the son.
Mistah just like let out a curse.
Yeah, dia macam, kalau in Malay like celaka lah Mistah,
It's
macam
like
tu
damn
lah.
you, Mistah.
Something like that lah. So Sayyidatina A'ishah was like asking, like defending Mistah, like, hey, Mistah is your son, why are you cursing him? Then Mistah was like, you mean you don't know what's going on? You don't know what Mistah has been saying about you? So that was
Wait,
when
so Mistah is one of these people who
spread rumor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was when Sayyidatina A'ishah knew about the slander, that the whole Medina was talking about her. So the moment she knew, she ran back home, and then she cried and cried and cried. And it's very interesting because Rasulullah SAW knew about this for quite a while, of course.
Okay, but he didn't.
But he didn't confront her. He didn't macam like jump into conclusions so easily, mashallah. And then macam maybe because she was sick, so he didn't want to burden her. Maybe this is just maybe, but macam mashallah lah, he didn't. Like, imagine if you, as a husband, you heard like a viral thing about me, maybe keluar dengan someone.
For me, I won't believe her.
No, I mean like macam, I think the first thing you would do is to at least ask me kan. But he didn't even ask.
I guess it was quite widespread. The rumor was quite widespread. The lie was widespread to an extent where he felt that it is he cannot just dismiss it.
Yeah.
He felt that something has to be done about
Yeah
it.
lah, as in macam he didn't defend Aisha, but he also didn't confront Aisha because he wasn't there at the situation, so he cannot confirm anything, right?
He just knows about these rumors going around.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So he also don't know who is wrong lah at that time. So
But
when
if you think about it, it's quite a big thing. Like, the Prophet's wife being accused of adultery, and everyone is spreading it. And this is at a time where Islam was growing in Medina.
Yeah, correct.
And and there were also enemies within Medina who would continue
Yes.
to perpetuate and spread the lie to others.
It was a big thing, of course, definitely. So that's why macam as a wife kan, I think she felt upset that Rasulullah SAW didn't even tell her about it. She said, okay, send me back to my parents.
And she had to find out from this woman.
Imagine how broken Sayyidatina A'ishah was.
Yeah.
Like, she was crying and crying, and some narrations say that she cried so much that she felt her lungs was about to come out. Macam, but I believe that she's a righteous woman. So macam she hold on to her zikir, she hold on to her ibadah kan. Tapi like even for a righteous woman pun, if you are tested like that, like it is hard lah. It is
Yeah.
hard. Macam some narration said that macam some women pass by the house and can hear her crying, and some women visited her and cried together with her. So it was so bad lah. It was so bad during that time, and I think macam she felt alone in this during this trial lah. Okay, so Rasulullah SAW, he didn't know what to do. Okay, so this also captures his humility. He is, even though he's the prophet, he's not like macam, oh, I know everything kind of thing. And he went to Sayyidina Ali. He went to Sayyidina Ali to ask his opinion. Like, what do you think? Do you think Sayyidatina A'ishah did it? Okay, when he asked, it's not that he didn't believe Aisha, but I think he also wants to be fair. He wants to be fair, macam because as a leader.
So I think Rasulullah SAW asked Sayyidina Ali his opinion.
Yeah,
but what exactly he asked, you can say lah.
Yeah lah, it was said that he said that lah. It was said that he asked, what do you think? Then after that, Sayyidina Ali said, I mean, I think Sayyidatina A'ishah is a very righteous woman. It's very impossible for her to be doing that. But and I also don't have much information about her. But if you want to know like more, maybe you can ask the slave of Aisha radiallahu anha, which is Barira. Okay. So he went to Barira. So this episode kan, it's not like I want to clarify again. It's not like he didn't believe Aisha, but as a leader, I think one needs to be objective. Just because you're my daughter, just because you're my wife, aku defend kau. Like I want to defend you like to the max, even though you are wrong. So he wants to find out if there's any possibility, you know, investigate the situation, if there's any possibility that it's true. So he went to Barira. Okay, Barira. Then he asked lah, like it was said that he asked, do you know anything about Aisha radiallahu anha? Then Barira said, it was said that Barira said, she was really a righteous woman. The only flaw that I saw in her is when she used to cook a dough. Dough. You know, dough, when you want to do a dough, you will need to leave it to proof for 2 to 3 hours, that kind of thing. So when she did her dough, then during the waiting time too, she fell asleep. Then the sheep will eat the dough and she's left with nothing. So that's
like the worst thing that Aisha has ever done, according to Barira.
Which is not that bad, which is innocent lah, kan?
So, okay lah, I mean, you can't compare that to adultery, right?
Yeah. So macam, kira she's innocent lah. Like I've never seen her doing anything wrong, except for that is the only wrong thing that I saw lah. So Rasulullah SAW pun macam, okay lah, you know, macam get the assurance kan. So he went to the parents' house, Sayyidatina Aishah's parents' house, which is Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu an and Rumman radiallahu anha. So Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was also his best friend, like very close companion. Okay, so he went. Then after that, it was said that he said, if you didn't do it, then Allah will prove your innocence. But if you did it, then repent and seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, so it was said that Rasulullah gave this as advice to his wife.
For me, if you said that to me, I would be like, you don't believe me? What do you mean? Kan?
So if I say things like, okay, there's some rumor going around about you.
What do you mean? You know me, you should know me better than any other people. Why are you not believing in me? So I will get emotional, definitely. I think any wife would be so upset if a man said that. Okay? But we also need to understand that the Prophet is coming from a prophet's point of view, not from a husband's point of view. Kan? Because like I say, as a leader, you need to be fair. Kan? You cannot just defend her. You cannot just defend her just because she's
so this is not
your wife.
Restricted to a domestic issue. This already involves the public.
Yes.
So he has to address it in the fairest way possible.
So he was fair lah. He didn't say that you did it.
He just put it as a hypothetical.
You didn't do it, Allah will prove your innocence. If you did it, but of course lah, kita women, we like to selective hearing.
Yeah, of course.
You only hear the last part. What do you mean seek forgiveness?
And from my own experience, women tend to not hear the word if.
Buka lagi. The word if is dangerous. Don't use. Don't use.
Okay.
So during this time, Sayyidatina A'ishah was so upset. I can imagine her upsetness because I'm a woman, I'm a wife also. And I've also been slandered, you know, during my lifetime.
So this situation was Sayyidatina A'ishah was there, Rasulullah s.a.w. was also there, and Abu Bakar radiallahu
and the
anhu
parents
was also there. And the parents were there as well, Aisha's parents. Okay. So it's quite a tense situation.
Yeah. So when Rasulullah SAW said that, then she was upset. So Sayyidatina A'ishah asked the father, "Oh father, aren't you going to say anything?" Then the father was like, "What can I say? You know, the Prophet has already said this. What can I say?" Then after that, she
in other words, it's some kind of I cannot speak above what the Prophet has already spoken,
because
right?
your husband is a prophet, it's not just any other man. Okay, so she turned to Rumman and asked
her mother.
Her mother, aren't you going to say anything? Like, macam say something, defend me or anything. Then Rumman said, what can I say? The Prophet has already said this. Then after that, so she's like, oh my God, like nobody believed her, like in her point of view lah, like macam her husband don't believe her, her parents cannot even defend her, nobody in that state defended her. So she ran to her room and she cried and cried and cried. I don't know, because I've been slandered before quite a number of times in my life, and I think like macam when I was slandered, of course you will feel that macam the whole world is against you, but at the very least kan, my parents, my family members, my close ones would believe me even though I didn't say a word. I didn't even say a word, they would believe me.
Because they know you.
Yeah,
right?
they know me. So macam I can't imagine for a righteous woman lagi, like oh my God, like all this while you don't believe me. So she cried and cried and cried, and then after that, that was when Jibril came down. Not with one ayat, not with two ayat, but with 16 ayats defending Aisha, the innocence of Aisha radiallahu anha.
So at that moment when she was crying and she was like giving up, I think she also said that it's okay, Allah will defend me. She had this idea that, you know what, all of you don't believe me and I'm being accused by the entire community for doing this, and even my husband's, she might be thinking, even my husband said, if you did it, I'm going to leave this to Allah. And at that moment, Jibril alayhi salam, the angel came down
with the wahyu.
To Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And imagine Allah is the one defending you in the Quran with 16 ayats, and it is being made as a guide for humanity. You know, macam even like beratus-ratus tahun, like thousands of years later, now we are reading about it, we are talking about it, and we are using it as a guide for our life lah. So macam imagine that, imagine how beautiful is that. So subhanallah.
So the ayat Quran is in Surah An-Nur,
defending
Aisha. It talks about the people who spread the lie, and actually proves her innocence. And when Jibril alayhi salam was conveying this to Rasulullah sallam, then I think he read it out, and I think there was a great sense of relief.
Yeah, everyone was so happy. Rasulullah SAW was so happy. The parents were so happy, and then like, of course, she was so happy. And then Abu Bakar As-Siddiq asked Aisha, aren't you gonna? Either Abu Bakar or Rumman asked Aisha, aren't you gonna thank your husband? So they said, oh no, this time I'm not gonna thank him, I'm gonna thank Allah for this, because Allah is the one who proved my innocence and not him.
So in her thinking, this proving of innocence didn't come from my husband. So it's like, it's a message from Allah through my husband, but it didn't come from him. She couldn't see his so in a way she saw it as being defended by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
No lah, but I also think it's a cute kind of like quarrel between marriage husband and wife lah.
Okay, so looking at the Quran, we know the Quran is timeless guidance for humanity, right? And we also believe that everything in the Quran is not only true, but is intended as guidance. So a story like this that happened 1,400 years ago, and the circumstances in which it took place in, Allah intends this as guidance for all of us.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's quite remarkable lah. Like to her, it must have just been, okay, this is something that happened in my life. People slandered me. I had no idea
that it will be recorded in the Quran.
Yeah, that Allah
Mashallah.
saw so much importance in this episode that it is even recorded in the Quran for people in 2025 to reflect on
and do a podcast about it.
I don't think she thought about the podcast part. But I mean, it must have been the idea because they know that this Quran is timeless guidance. So she must be thinking. I mean, she must be thinking that I imagine she's also a very humble person. She must be thinking, I am so insignificant, and yet Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala is devoting ayat Quran for something that happened. For this kind of circumstance that I find myself in. Yeah,
it's huge.
So I think it's quite remarkable. But if you were to, let's say you were to summarize, to summarize, what can we take from this story?
Okay.
Don't say don't trust your husband,
It's huge, but I also think that macam this sort of like beautiful ending doesn't just come to anyone just like that. Macam I believe that Sayyidatina A'ishah is a very righteous woman, so she's very strong in her prayers, she's very strong in her ibadah, in her zikir and everything semua. So so macam even it was said macam among all the wives of Rasulullah SAW, he had about 11 wives. So among all the wives, she was the one of those who can follow Rasulullah SAW during Qiyam. Okay, what is Qiyam? Qiyam is night prayers. So night prayers, Rasulullah SAW punya night prayers kan is very long lah. So she is the only one who is able to do it, to stand that long. So the
other wives were not able to.
Tak tahan lah.
Okay.
Kan? So she is very strong on her own. She is very strong with her prayers, with her ibadah, with her zikir. So it cannot just macam this thing happened to me. Okay, let Allah defend me. Then you do nothing about it. You know.
Okay.
You need to put in the effort to really rely on Allah. Really rely on Allah. Really pour your heart out and really have faith lah.
So it is the ibadah, it is the night prayers and all that helps you to get to a stage where your reliance is exclusively for Allah SWT. And that's what she demonstrated. So she knew that, you know what, this is not gonna be a situation where anyone can help me. I just rely on Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. And inshallah everything is gonna be fine. So I think it's a lesson on tawakal.
Yes, tawakal, having faith in Allah. Oh yeah, I also want to highlight this about Mistah just now.
Oh, the guy who spread the rumor.
The guy who spread the rumor. Do you know that
Mistah lah, not Mistah.
Yeah, Mistah, not Mistah. Abu Bakar as-Siddiq actually sent the Mistah punya family money every single month.
Oh, okay.
I cannot imagine. You imagine every single month you kasi, as in you give a family like $3,000 for their livelihood, and this guy, spread when the time comes, he just like jump on the hate bandwagon and like spread it even more.
I mean, he must be so upset lah, right?
Yeah lah, of course. It was said that Abu Bakar as-Siddiq radhiyallahu anh didn't want to give money anymore after that.
I mean, understandably, yeah.
Yeah, but then Rasulullah SAW, it was said that he said, don't you want Allah to forgive you? Because if you want Allah to forgive you, then whatever charity that you give is not based on the people's actions. It's antara you and Allah. It's between you and Allah, right? So macam the charity is for your akhirah. It's not, and macam it's huge. It's even more huge if you give the charity when it's hard.
Okay.
Versus you give charity when it's easy. Kan? So it was said that Abu Bakar as-Siddiq actually increased the charity for that family.
Wow, that's an amazing man.
Yeah, that's why I can't. I mean, when I heard this, I macam.
I think normally men will just like, you say this about my daughter, I'm gonna kill you.
yeah, I know, right?
But he is, I'm gonna increase your monthly allowance.
Like recently, someone who criticized me actually came to me and asked for my help.
Oh, okay.
At first, in my head, I was like, aren't you the one who criticized me? Macam tu lah. But bila I reflect back, right, then
the thing is,
I feel like macam, like I need to remind myself that the reward that I'm giving to, when I give to to others. I need to give sincerely and fully. And the reward I need to expect from Allah and not people.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So macam kita tahu benda tu, we know that as a fact. But if you want to, when it comes to you, like it is different. Like it's so hard for me to macam force myself to be sincere to help that person, because that person is in desperate need lah. So macam when I was, when I met, you know, the person, I was controlling my tongue to not say, aren't you the one who criticised me? Macam tu lah. Publicly.
Aren't you the hater?
Aren't you one of the haters? Yeah, but macam I see it as macam, okay, because I learn about all this knowledge, and it's time for me to apply. Like Allah wants to test me. If I put this situation in you, can you do it or not? Yeah, so, yeah lah.
No, I think that one, there's also an effect where like, you know, somebody criticizes you or hates you or, you know, talks about you online and so on. And then one fine day they need your help.
Yeah.
And then you help them. I think that has a humbling effect on the person. So they will realize, okay lah, I've not been a good girl.
Yeah.
I've or guy. I've criticized this guy, but now, you know, how.
But now I'm in a similar situation. I don't have anyone. I need your help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So.
Yes, humbling effect. So I think really a lot of things that we can learn from these stories.
Yeah.
And it would be great lah if you can share more stories on the mothers of the believers. I hope people benefit, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah.
Okay, so she will share more stories.
Okay.
When you learn these stories, right? Actually, you are a bit like Aisha.
What?
Because I saw that day when you were learning this story about the mothers of the believers, just like Sayyidatina A'ishah radhiyallahu anha, you fell asleep. Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Buka aib sih. Tak baik. Tak baik. Buka aib